Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell. Helps us out. Plus, you get to know when we have another one brewing. This week's movie is going to be Man on Fire, starring good old Denzel. Fellas, what'd you think of this man who was on fire?
For a movie called Man on Fire, never once did I see an actual man on fire.
Never.
Now, I was a little disappointed about that. I was like, is this like, maybe like a foreshadowing thing and some dude just like goes up in flame? No.
Show the cover of Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here just once and I'm happy.
Oh, it's just like arbitrarily stuffed in there. It's like,
Yeah.
all right.
They could even fired up the "This man is on fire," something.
Or there's an Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros song called Man on Fire. That could work just as well. Give us something, fellas.
I don't know. Like, this movie is egregious in so many ways, but that could have been like the one thing they could just like, cherry on top.
I don't know that I'd say
like-
egregious exactly. I think what this was directed by Tony Scott, who
Correct.
I have just recently learned is the brother of Ridley Scott. Is that right? Can anybody confirm that?
Confirmed.
All right. Okay, here's my thoughts in a nutshell. I think he was really going for like an Oscar Best Picture contender. Honestly, I don't think he's that far off. This isn't a great film. It's not bad by any means, but I think with a little bit more trimming down and like better editing, he'd be a lot closer
Yes.
to hitting on that than he is with what he has here.
Oh,
Absolutely.
100%, dude. Like, the cuts in here are enough to give you a fucking stroke.
Yeah.
It was super rough. I literally felt like I was getting assaulted sometimes because I don't know. Like, I know you guys agree with me. Like, a scene happens and then the next scene is progressing the movie, but that scene is telling me what that last scene was. Like, Tony Scott's like, oh, the world's a fishbowl and you're all my goldfish. That's how he treated this movie.
Not only that, but there's a lot of these little flash scenes that just don't need to be there. Just add nothing. Just add nothing to either like the art of the movie or the plot.
Yeah.
Like, I get that he's wanting to do a lot with both of those, but like sometimes just pick a direction and go with it.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, these moments where it flashes to, whatever was recently happening and it's all choppy and it's fucking crazy industrial music blaring at you assaultingly. I was like, is he having a PTSD moment and this is how they want to explain it?
Yeah. I actually thought that too, but then it happens so often. It almost feels like a flashback scene in a CSI show when they figure out the crime and they're just showing it to us. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, that's kind of exactly the vibe that I got. Like we'll see like a flash cut of what you would call like that PTSD, but he might not even be around or in it. It'll be like one of those little scenes that's like just with that reporter lady or something, and it's like, what are we doing here, guys?
I don't know.
And it's just like somebody eating a biscuit.
Maybe he's like one of those like extra feeling people. Like, he just has emotions for himself and others. So if like that reporter came to him with like a really harsh story, he just goes home and he's just sad about it, just flashing back.
You've heard of like method actors. You think Tony Scott is like a method director, just like living all of that through the whole movie, just not really being able to pick and choose a scene? That's just who he is.
Well, seeing that he directed Top Gun, I'm always looking for that "you can be my wingman anytime" thing. It just never comes back.
What the hell is the name of that movie? Because Christopher Walken's in this. And Christopher Walken's also in another movie, but like he gets The Shining or what the fuck ever, and he can see things by touching people.
It's The Prophecy.
Oh, that's not even a clever name. It's just like, oh, what's that prophetic movie? Oh, The Prophecy. Yeah.
But it's like that. Instead of getting a flash of the future, he just touches things and sees like stupid shit during industrial music montages.
What's the name of that one with John Travolta from like the early 90s, mid 90s?
Oh, Phenomenon?
Pretty much the same thing.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Let's never speak of that one again.
And honestly, I feel like there was another one that was like the fucking same thing right around that same time period.
Yeah, because he's like, don't drink that chocolate milk. It's spoiled. And it is.
Oh, it's just dark cottage cheese now. Oh, he's still drinking it. Oh, no.
It's okay. I had some peaches. I can eat a
Stop
peach.
Oh, no. Oh, imagine Chris Walken in the role of Nick Cage.
Yes.
I could eat a peach for hours. Unless it's covered in dirt.
Dart,
That.
get it off. Hey, Dart.
Oh, shit. Okay, so this movie is basically Mexican Taken.
All right. Something like
Yeah.
that.
I think the biggest difference is just like how they're kind of presented. Like, I love Denzel to death. I love him as an actor, but like he doesn't have that like John Wickiness of like, you
Mhm.
know, in this movie.
Yeah, like I feel
He's
like
got-
John Wick, like I feel like John Wick when he does it, he's like a raw, you know, badass kind of guy. Like he will fucking kill you. And you get the same thing from Denzel, but he's all business when he does it though. Like I feel like he's gonna like sit down and like do your taxes until you die.
Yes,
Oh,
but he's got some really good fucking one-liners in here.
Oh yeah.
oh, for sure, absolutely. But like maybe it's like personal preference or something like that. There was never a moment where like the switch flicked, you know, like oh man, he's just like a worn down old assassin. He's an alcoholic. He's got some really, really bad PTSD issues.
Mhm.
Man, he's working through a lot. Oh man, this girl shows him like the light, you know, and like he can live
Yeah.
again, like, you know, love and all that stuff. And I was waiting for him to just like go from zero to he folds a guy in half, you know, get out of here.
He kind of does that, but in honestly a more realistic fashion. He has that moment where he goes, "Okay, I think this little child has showed me how to care again. She's my world." And then the people come to get her, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And then he gets shot like immediately, and he just
Dude.
goes down. And he's thinking, "Oh man, I still got to save her." So he pops off a few more rounds, and gets decked again, and goes down. Like to me, it was a much more realistic take. He tried his best. He got 4 fucking dudes, but he still failed.
Yeah, that actually subverted my expectations in a really good way because like I wanted Denzel to be like that killing machine. I turn into the Terminator, you know, drop of a hat. But like he's in this moment and he's shooting people and it's so visceral. This is actually one of the best shot scenes in the movie before it gets like fucking ridiculously hectic. But like he takes a bullet in the shoulder and it's just like bam and like the squib goes everywhere. It's huge. It's a big wound and you're like, wait, this is the movie's hero. He gets
Mhm.
fucking down.
Yeah.
Like that whole scene, if they would have filmed the crazy bits more like how they did that one, it would have been a lot more acceptable and palatable. Because man, whenever he gets fucking shot the second time and little Dakota Fanning runs over to him and she's screaming and he just looks confused. He's not even looking at her. He's just looking around like, what the fuck? Where am I? What's happening?
It's almost like a really good way to portray like being shell shocked, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Before we get going in earnest with the plot points, let's just set the stage up a little bit. Denzel, what is his background? Like he was military, like what is he?
Badass.
Military badass. I don't know. And we've got what a dignitary or I don't know who he is. It doesn't matter who he is,
No.
but
He's Mark Anthony Latino Heat.
fucking
Yeah, he
Mark
is.
Anthony. We've got Mark Anthony. It doesn't matter what he is, but he is a wealthy man living in Mexico City. Is that where they are?
Correct. He owns like all kinds of factories and stuff. I think they produce cars, and like the whole shtick is like he's trying to get this deal with Ford and just kind of like make sure everybody's secure. You know, the plant goes on forever, money's being made, and I guess like his dad had acquired all these debts, and when he passed away, like Mark Anthony unfortunately got stuck with them. So there's all kinds of like political hubbubbery, you know, that could get
Yeah.
him and his family killed.
Yeah,
He
there-
also inherited his family lawyer, fucking Mickey Rourke.
Oh my god, yes! Like actual Mickey Rourke, not like fucked up Mickey Rourke. I haven't seen his fucking real face in so long. I was like,
Wait,
Well,
that's his real face? I still think that's only like maybe 40% real face.
listen, man.
This was 2004.
If you've seen the troll doll that is he now, you will absolutely appreciate what you just saw a lot more.
I guess. But yeah, you got
Oh.
lawyer Mickey Rourke. You got like best friend Christopher Walken. I don't know what he is, but he's like confidant Christopher Walken.
Yeah, he's like a ex-assassino, you know, in the same business, but he's like he found like a nice Mexican lady. He's got a family now, and he's
This
just
is
like,
where he got relocated after Joe Dirt.
Yes.
oh fuck, that's perfect, dude.
That is
Absolutely.
perfect. Yeah. And then you got, as we mentioned, Dakota Fanning, who plays the daughter of Mark Anthony. It's not weird. The wife is blonde as well, so genes.
It's
It's
I
a
she
little
could-
weird.
She could barely hold on to her like accent through the movie, so like I just whatever pushed her to the side.
Okay, I'm sure you're probably going to say the same thing, or maybe not. Maybe we're on a completely different page. I thought Dakota Fanning was amazing in this.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like I'm so used to us just like harping on her for War of the Worlds, the Steven Spielberg movie, but like in this one, she's like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but those who are familiar with like kid actors, she's very much a person.
Yes.
I will say that this is the least that I have disliked Dakota Fanning in a role.
Hey, there we go. Like, this is like the best performance in the movie. Like, I love Denzel to death, but like, I don't know. It's just like one of those like lightning in the bottle moments with kid actors. Like, this is fucking solid. If
Yes,
not
and
better.
dude,
Yeah, but
100%. I would say it goes Denzel because I think he does an amazing job with his mannerisms alone. Like the small little gesticulations he does with his hands and his face when he's talking, especially whenever he cuts off that one bad guy's finger and he has to like dab his own lips because he's drooling because it's a lot for him. But Dakota Fanning and him bounce off each other so well. I thought it was wonderful.
You do have some like really fun character moments. Like I hope you guys picked up on like, you know, when he's finally like hauling her around and stuff. And driving around the city, he's trying to learn the route and everything, make sure it's perfectly secure, all that stuff.
right.
At like a stoplight or something, you get a great character moments, but also you get like a really good look into how professional Denzel is, regardless of his sobriety. Because like
Mhm.
she's mad at him, and she was just getting out of the car to get back in the backseat so that she doesn't have to be with him.
Mhm.
The moment she touches the door handle, he's already out of the car, ready to just whip ass, tear something down. Just like,
Mhm.
what are you doing?
Yeah, what he is actually hired on to be is the father, Mark Anthony's bodyguard, but he ends up just being like the bodyguard, the watcher over this little girl. And yeah, as you mentioned, they develop like a rapport. It's not easy to start out with, but they get there.
Dude, it's so good that he would 100% shoot a street busker.
Yeah.
I mean, have you met street buskers?
Oh no. 2 days.
And then after all, you're my border wall.
Oh,
Oh.
nice. But yeah, this movie takes place entirely within Mexico City and its surrounding barrios.
I can't say that you get a good look at a lot of the city because whatever our opinions are of the movie, it has a really hard time with geography, just like in the basic sense.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, there are times where like I didn't know where people were, and they were just, I guess, technically like really close to each other, like maybe across the street. Like when shit goes down, we'll talk about it. And Dakota Fanning's like running down the street. I honestly didn't know where she was in relation to Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, in that scene, he's just like, run, run, and she's like standing at a street light or something, 20 feet away.
Yeah, it could have been blocks away. It could have been a fucking city over. You don't know because it just frames her with no like landmark. She's just somewhere.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You can definitely see that Michael Bay took so much from Tony Scott.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's his hero.
Really?
You're talking about like with the quick cuts and the spins and all that?
The quick cuts, every scene, no matter how insignificant it is, feels significant. The oversaturated and crunch colors in the movie, this movie looks fucking gross.
Kinda. Yeah, like certain times. Yeah.
I can see what you're saying with the scenes that don't feel important, with the 100% not important, but they feel important. Like he lets a bird go and the bird comes back. It has zero to do with anything ever, and it doesn't matter, but you feel like that's fucking spiritual or something.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
I'm right there with you. There are a lot of those scenes. This movie is 2.5 hours long, and it has no business being that long.
No.
Like, there's all of these just like little thrown in scenes just like that, when there's a few more a little bit later that I'm going to mention, that just, why?
It's like Tony Scott, no matter how talented he was, it felt like he was unconfident sometimes. Like, oh, I'm going to show you the scene. Well, I'm going to bring it up again immediately just in case you didn't get it.
Yeah, there's a point that just by watching the movie you would get, but he kind of does that thing that ruins it to where he tells you what you're supposed to be getting. It's like, buddy, we got it.
And speaking of, they're like slowly bonding, Denzel and Dakota. It's really well paced, but also kind of awkward. They finally find solace in like, oh, you know what? Her dad wants her to play piano, but she wants to be a swimmer. So I guess in drill sergeant fashion, Denzel's just like, okay, I'm going to take you to this little pool or whatever, and I'm just going to yell at you until you get it. But like the way it's framed and everything, it's just like the same information over and over. I don't understand like if he was trying to show us that, like practice makes perfect or whatever like that, or he didn't know like what he had was enough information that like, the audience is like, okay, she's slowly getting better. This is like her montage.
Here's the thing, though, not to interrupt you, that could have been a montage, but it wasn't. Like, it was a montage, but usually the clips in a montage are very short, quick. This was like, all right, it's almost like real speed montage of like
Yeah.
these swimming lessons that takes up like way too fucking long again.
We
It's fun.
followed a full day of this girl trying to swim while getting mantras thrown at us.
Yeah. And like it's kind of weird because like the end result is included in the montage. And when it's over, you're just like, well, that happened.
Don't be afraid of the gun. The gun is good.
Yes, I was thinking that too.
But at one point in time, I don't remember exactly when it happens in conjunction with this swimming training scene, but at some point, there's a scene where Denzel is up in his room, you know, reading the Bible a little bit, drinking a whole lot, and he ends up trying to take his own life.
Yeah. And it's a really strong scene.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it's just one of those things where like the movie is still kind of like not choppy, but it's still like rushing but not running anywhere.
Sure. And we are still at that point in time trying to figure out exactly who is this person that is, what's his name? Creasy? It's Denzel.
He is crazy, creasy bear.
There you go. We're still trying to like figure out his personality. Like he's this grizzled, you know, ex-military guy who's done like reconnaissance or something. Not exactly bodyguarding, but like he's done enough shooting bad guys to handle just about any job. But at this point, this might be the end of his line. Except, I guess I don't know about what exactly happens when bullets don't fire, but this bullet didn't fire.
Yeah, the primer didn't, it was struck, but it didn't ignite. So the powder inside never propelled the bullet through his brain. And he has to call Christopher Walken, and he's like, hey, I'm trying to sleep. I've been banging my Mexicano wife all night. What do you want? And he's like, I tried to kill myself. And he's, well, it didn't work, did it? No. Go to bed. See you tomorrow.
I really wish that was the interaction because it's like it's kind of awkward, you know. It's like dancing around the subject, and he's just like out in the piss pouring rain, loud as fuck. He's like, hey Chris, you ever had like a bullet night go off? He's like, listen, I was watching TV, but I gotta go.
Well, he does throw out a line that we'll come back to a little bit later. A bullet never lies.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't exactly know what that's supposed to mean in this context, but it's supposed to say like, you know, that bullet, if it doesn't fire, that wasn't meant for you. Meant for somebody else.
It's meant for the guy who will remain nameless, but plays indoor fucking golf. He's hitting those things with all his force.
He seemed so upset that Dakota Fanning came and was like, hey, papa, be my papa. And he's like, listen, I just want the world for you, but you're going to have to fucking leave.
I gotta hit these goddamn balls as hard as I can, and if you're in here, I'll probably hit you.
I love you, baby, but fuck off.
Yeah.
Go burp on a piano teacher.
Yeah. So, like the next day, I think it is, you know, is when he starts like driving her to school. She goes to this nice, fancy, like Catholic school. And like you said before, he had to spend some time getting that route together so that he knows the ins and outs of it, anything suspicious going on, whatnot. And at some point, he notices a car following him.
It's actually like a really sharp plot point too, because like, you know, this could be any car. It might not even be following him. It could just be his like intuition. He's like, oh, I just gotta pay attention because that's my thing. And like, you know, he stares really hard at the car, and Dakota Fanning noticed him stare at the car, so she jots down some information about it in her little diary, and we'll just put that away because we're gonna need that later.
That's a tool we can use later.
Absolutely,
Blue's good too. We can too.
I love the bit when they finally get to the school, and you know, Denzel Washington's a brand new face, and he's just trying to like, you know, this is my thing, I'm a bodyguard. And the penguin lady there, the nun, she's just like, I don't know why you guys need bodyguards. I think that whole idea is real fucking dumb. And he just like throws some fucking biblical shit at her. He's like, yeah, fuck you.
I got Jesus too. And she's like, oh, I like you.
Yeah.
It goes to show that his profession was needed, because while she's out playing piano, she gets taken or took or el tacanoed.
I don't think that's the proper translation, but I don't know enough about Spanish to be able to say yes or no, so we'll roll with it.
13 cunts to jump a fence, so I don't know.
Yes. It's 13 Cuts to Kill a Man. They fucking gun him down, and he's gunning people down. The little girl gets taken. It's a very intense scene, as we described earlier. And then it cuts to them with him handcuffed to his fucking hospital bed, going, he's the bad guy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This movie does a really good job of just like showing the corruption in like Mexican police, whatever. They get like the police captain. He's just like, this man killed 2 of our finest officers, and like the reporter lady, which we'll get more in depth with here in a shortly. And she's like, oh, you mean those cops are totally fucking crooked, off duty, and in their uniform and cruiser for absolutely no reason in this area?
Yep.
And everybody's just like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that I actually completely forgot about that little plot point, which again doesn't need to happen because it doesn't fucking mean a thing. Yeah, he gets taken in, arrested. You know, he's on basically life support in his hospital bed. Like he's on like a breathing machine. Like he's supposed to be the guy that's, you know, done in for this big mess. And Christopher Walken's just like, yeah, we don't need this to be a plot point. Let's just take you somewhere else and you can rest up there.
Yeah, the movie toys with the idea like he's now a fugitive. So like, well, it's not really safe here. Everybody knows you're going to be here. Let's move you somewhere else. And it's just like, well, the rest of the movie, the police force never really make any big moves towards him, like at all. So I'm just like, well, why did we spend this like 20 minutes, like just getting you from hospital to, I guess, hospice?
Yeah, like what's the difference between that and him just being on the lookout from like, you know, the crooked cops that are also in on this? Like, you know, it's either all the cops or just the crooked ones because they're all fucking crooked anyway.
Yeah.
They could have refined the scene just by he gets shot, and instead of ever going to the hospital, he just wakes up at the fucking veterinary clinic or whatever.
That's actually really cool. But unfortunately, we get this like really, I don't know, man. It's just a dumb idea, a dumb scene of like, he's in the hospital, Christopher Walken, you know, he's spending time with him. They're friends, of course. And we get like Mexican detective man, and his line made me cringe so fucking hard I had to pause it and walk away. He just walks in and he's like, oh, you're in this hospital? Man, when I heard you were, it made me feel great because there's a great pastry place right down the road, the best place in Mexico. Haha. Literally like a minute pause. Yeah. It's just like, all right. Is this like a character moment? No? All right.
Because we don't need him. We don't need him at all. He just doesn't need to exist as a person.
There's multiple scenes of people eating and sucking their fingers throughout this movie.
Well, when Chris Walken did it, I thought he was just helping himself, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, he looked like he was like, these are fucking delicious. I'll have another.
Christopher Walken can do that. I don't want to see anybody else do it.
Yeah, I think that detective's thing, like, all he does is presumably fuck the reporter.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I kind of thought that too, but it wasn't like confirmed anywhere, so I was just like, what is this? Like,
oh, it was totally confirmed.
Was it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he bones her twice.
There's like this really weird scene later on that we can totally skip over. But like, she's like half dressed and he's like, hey, round two, baby. And she's just like, listen, I'm a professional. I'm just like, all right, cool.
I'm a professional. I keep hearing that. I wish you had more time.
Yes. That was one of the best lines that I remember. Like, I remember hearing that before too, but yeah, like that was real solid.
To me, the best line in this movie is whenever he goes to the rave club and he's like shooting everybody up, and he's like, "What'd you say?" He's like, "I said I don't know, man. You're making me real fucking nervous." He goes, "Okay, well, did you say goodbye?" And the guy's like, "What?" He's like, "Did you say goodbye to her?" And he goes, "What?" And he takes out the picture and he goes, "Did you say goodbye?" Oh man, he's like, "Well, now's your chance." He just fucking shoots him.
Okay, at this point we've caught up to like Denzel. He's like in his little hospice thing. He's around friends. People are going to protect him. Here's a question: how much time passed while he was there? Because like
that's a real good question.
Yeah, like it was mentioned that maybe it's a month or something like that, and I honestly don't know.
Well, it mentions that, you know, it's been 2 days since she was kidnapped, and that's when the ransom call comes in.
Correct. And man, oh man, does saddish mommy not sell whatsoever. She's like, oh
God,
I'm sad. I'm country and I'm sad.
That was something I was going to bring up. The mother is easily the worst actor among everyone in this film. She can't sell anything. Nope.
But she sell that fucking body. She rocking.
I mean, that's it. But like the scene at the very end, not the very, very end, but the scene where like Denzel gives a phone, like calls her and gives her some pertinent information. That is just terrible acting.
I am done with this. I don't want your life.
Yes.
Yeah, but like the way she comes off, it almost feels like she did it. Like, her character just kind of gets boiled down to like, oh, that's totally Casey Anthony.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's
but
not.
yeah,
But you think that because she's such a terrible actor.
holy shit! It wasn't Casey Anthony. It was Mark Anthony.
Dun dun
Oh,
dun.
he was the one all along.
Anyway, so there's a ransom come through, $10 million. You want to split up between two bags, yada yada yada. There's going to be a drop. All of this stuff. All right, let's move this along a little bit. And what's going to happen here? There's a
And
chaos, right? More just bullshit.
this would have been a stellar opportunity if like Mickey Rourke was on the telephone. It's like $10 million. Who do you think she is? Chelsea Clinton?
No, I honestly think this could have been a better scene if he would have been like on the phone talking, and then Mark Anthony walks up wearing a ski mask, and he's like, "You're in the morning." He's like, "Is that you, Mark Anthony? You don't know me, motherfucker." It's a great twist.
Oh
In
yeah,
the movie.
totally. Okay, Mickey Rourke is totally framed as dirtbag from frame one. But I
Mhm.
kind of wanted a moment to where like I was like, it's like, no, we can't figure it out like this. Just let me get at him. My mitts.
With my mitts. Yes. Look, I've seen a lot of Mickey Rourke movies, and that's the only one I can honestly say, hey, Mickey. Oh, well, fuck, that and The Wrestler. So, Sin City and The Wrestler, Mickey Rourke, great job.
My main thing about Mickey Rourke in this movie is like it starts out with you thinking that he's going to be like a big piece to this puzzle, and he inevitably is, but we spend like 60% of the movie with him just like not showing up, or just like a glimpse of him in one of these like flash cuts here or there. Like he disappears, we forget about him until the end, and like that could be a strategic thing, but in this it's not, because just nothing happens.
Oh, it's
True.
100% just like Murder, She Wrote. There's a character, you see him once or twice, and then it turns out it was them the whole time because they're tied to everything and this, that, and the other. But then you think, why would I have ever thought it was him? I didn't see this man in the movie.
Well,
Yeah.
like straight up from the beginning, I had never seen this movie before, but from the beginning, I was like, Mickey Rourke's character has something to do with this. He's a scumbag.
Oh
Dude,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100% agreed. But like, I don't know if it's because his character was just underwritten, but he just never comes back. But it also
Yeah.
feels like a situation where he just realized he's being paid in pesos, and he just fucked the hell out of this movie.
Now, what I
Yeah.
think it is, honestly, I think Tony Scott probably set this up to be like a 4.5 hour movie, and then he just had to like trim it up last minute, and it's like, let's cut stuff here, there, here, there, here, there, and just left like a lot of stuff that didn't need to be here, and maybe took out some stuff that would have been more crucial to some character development. I don't know.
Yes.
That's all I can come up with.
I can see that because there's so much stuff in this movie that doesn't need to be in it, but it's good. And I think that's where the runtime comes in. You don't need to watch this scene of him and the girl looking at a bird and talking, but it's a sweet scene.
That just makes me feel like my opinion of like, well, maybe the lack of confidence is there, because like he was just shooting whatever, and he just like made the movie in the editing room.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Now, at this point, Creasy has had enough, and he's going to paint his masterpiece because he's an artist in death. And the first kill we get, because he runs the license plate, yada yada yada, plot points, doesn't really matter. It's all about the killing, because now it starts. And he gets this dude in his fucking car, and Oyo Komava is playing, and he's cutting this fucking dude's finger off.
Yeah, there's
Bro.
all kinds of fucking weird musical choices in this scene. It's like the
is
radio
this-
has like ADHD, and every
Yeah.
4 seconds something else is playing as he's chopping off a limb.
I was going to ask if this was the same scene that we have that Spanish language version of Mickey by Tony Basil.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is one of the few scenes in the movie that are just like entirely on point. Like this is fucking visceral, and you feel it.
It reminds me of that scene from Reservoir Dogs, Stuck in the Middle with You scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He even cuts the
I get
ear off,
that.
I think, as an homage.
There we
Oh, yeah.
go. I wish Denzel had that opportunity to step out of the car and do a little dance before each finger, you know?
Oh, just dances around to the front side, rolls the window down, and leans in.
Chop it chop, goes around the other side, dance some more.
But yeah, this is, like you described, a visceral scene. Dude's hands are duct taped to the wheel of this car, and he's just like cutting off his fingers, and then like he has like a wound in his neck too that he like sticks his finger in. And like, man, that's rough. And he ends up trying to get like information from him. That's what all of the next few scenes are, and it's brutal.
And once more, Denzel's great. But the reason why this scene is so fucking hard hitting is the dude getting his fingers chopped off.
Thank
He
you,
is
Eric.
selling it so well, and I absolutely believe that he was missing some members because there's a moment where like he's like, you know, he's fucking fingerless and earless at this point. He's like, give me a cigarette. He obliges. Denzel obliges, gives him a cigarette, lights it, and he asks a really hard hitting question that he knows he can't answer or he's fucking dead anyway. And he's like, man, I
Yeah.
don't know, and he like buries his head in the car horn, knowing damn well shit's about to get worse.
I love
Yeah.
it. I was going to say the same exact shit. It's this man selling how bad this sucks, but how much he's got to put up with. Because it's almost like a side story that he knows he's dead. He knows he's going to die. He's fucking done. He knows it. But he has to, his body's got to be mangled enough that way when they find it, they'll be like, well, he didn't talk. You know what I mean? So they won't go after the family because he gets fucking butchered. And like Eric said, whenever he just gives up and starts crying and lets his head fall onto the horn,
It's over.
fucking vicious.
Yeah, and Denzel just fucking is like, all right, fine, I guess I got enough, and he just fucking rolls him into the super sunset.
Oh,
Speaking of super sunsets, ooh, got a little bit on my face.
ugh.
What I've got here today is from AleSmith from San Diego, California. It's a 6.8% India Pale Ale brewed with Mosaic, Simcoe, and Chinook hops. A nice little bouquet there. Smells really nice, really green. This is looking like a classic West Coast IPA. Pretty clear. Lots of those floral hops, a little bit of spice in there too. It's not super malty. This is full on IPA territory. It's not like super resiny, but you get a little bit of that in the back end. But otherwise, it's floral, it's green, it's fresh. Definitely pretty good to watch a sunset to.
Talking about, you know, the sunset. Well, he sends this guy, you know, riding off into the sunset kind of thing. And I really love the line. He goes, all right, my friend, looks like it's off to the next life with you.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry. I guarantee you won't be lonely. And he just fucking bops him in the head
And then just like rolls him off this fucking cliff.
Yeah,
into
like
a soccer field.
Is that what it is?
Oh no, poor little Ninos just trying to like practice their footwork. It's just crash, boom.
He's gonna be all fucking bent like Beckham.
Oh,
We learn about a handful of things that we didn't know before. There's the Hermanidad, there's the Guardians. We learn about a guy named The Voice, which will come back a little bit later. But really, this is just getting us to the next step of the process, right? We're going to like some kind of a rave club.
yeah, where they listen to the
Yes.
fucking techno version of Requiem for a Dream.
I'm into it.
It was something ridiculous. This whole scene, fucking seizure inducing. Holy shit. It's like the movie reached out of my screen, took me by the shoulders, and just started shaking me like crazy.
Yeah, he grabs up the bodyguard, takes him upstairs, basically makes him open the fucking door, and then all hell breaks loose with some Jersey boy. And that was that scene I was telling you that's really good because he's like, oh man, you make me fucking nervous.
Like in the same scene, like there's a couple of fellas, like he's holding hostage, and like there's like this random lady there or whatever. He busts in the door, sees her for a millisecond, and she runs in the other room, and he's like, boom, gets off a shot with a shotgun. The hole's big as a basketball in the wall, and she steps back out. She's like, all right, hey,
I
should be dead, but I'm not. What you want?
Yeah, so in this scene, we get, you know, a little bit more information, trying to find out who the boss is. You know, they're connected to some cops. Jersey Boy just, like, spills his guts.
Yeah, he's just trying to save himself. And like, fuck, dude. Like, if Denzel had me tied up with a shotgun in hand, I'd be like, listen, whatever you need.
Here's my
his
ATM
EEG
card. The pin is 4747. Also, like, there's another girl back here. You can have her.
Blip blop, let me go get the kid. Oh, it ain't the one I want. I'm burning this whole fucking place down.
And, like, everybody in the club is, I guess, just so high that they go outside and just, like, cheer on the club burning down.
Oh man, this whole thing is a huge mess, like editing wise. But like, I took so much joy in him walking out on stage with that sawed-off shotgun, blam, blam, and everybody's like, yeah, blam, blam, and just starts dancing around.
Fucking yeah.
It's like, all right, cool.
So he calls up old journalist lady and is like, hey, I got something for you. It's an ATM card, but also there's a child. Take her too. Why not?
If you need me, I'll be
Look at this.
capturing Mexican Dr. Phil.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the point in the movie where like he's moving up the echelon. Like this is no
Mhm.
longer like taking out lackeys or whatever. Like he's going straight to the source.
Yeah, I think the next thing he's like, I don't even know how he gets the drop on this, but he like somehow gets into like this old couple's apartment with I don't know what this weapon is. It's like an anti-aircraft
That is
grenade
an
launcher.
RPG.
Yep.
RPG. Yes,
Uh,
thank you.
Also, he knocked politely.
It's like, excuse me, sir and or madam, may I please use your window for 5 minutes? I do have an RPG. And they're just
And
like,
they
oh, I
said-
suppose.
Yes. They're like, I guess. He's like,
Yeah.
thank you, ma'am. Whoosh.
It took me a hard second to realize where he got that because I was like, man, this is literally fucking out of nowhere, and he's got this huge rocket launcher. But I remember briefly, like, there's a conversation between he and Chris Walken. He's like, he gives him like a list after shit had hit the fan. He's like, yo, Denzel, this is the army. You know, like, what are you asking of me? And it's just a fucking rocket launcher.
Yeah, no. One little quick line that when they're talking earlier, he's talking about what he's gonna do, and Christopher Walken's like, "Hey, you know that this means this is war we're talking
Yeah,
about."
that's it. Yeah.
And he's like, "I know. That's what I'm talking about."
War. Huh.
Good God, y'all.
But what's it good for? Blowing the shit out of stuff. It's actually
I
really
guess so.
awesome.
Fucking blows that car up. It's a tasteful explosion. It's not overdone. It like just kind of pops in the air and flips on the side and is a flame. He then walks up with a thermite grenade, tosses it under the bulletproof car until the guard gets out so he could shoot him. He then climbs in the car with the leader of La Hermandad, takes him under a bridge where he then explains that he has implanted a bomb in his ass.
And he's like, you didn't do that. And he's just like, C4 yourself.
Ah!
Oh. Do you like that he was using Sandy wipes to clean his fingers?
He was very professional.
But yeah, he's like, "Hey, you've got a bomb stuck up your ass, and I got this watch that will tell it to blow up in 5 minutes. So you got 5 minutes to talk. You should talk."
We tried to steal the money, but someone stole it before us. It must have been Calphus.
Yeah,
He
Mickey
goes,
Rourke's
"Oh."
character, and that gets the the thought process going, the gears turning.
It's a fun moment because the guy's just like, you know who I am? And Denzel's basically like, yeah, that's why I put it in your ass because I need your information.
But yeah, the last wish part of that is golden to me.
Oh yeah, dude. I wish you had more time. And then he blows up Mario.
It's totally like a control thing, but I love that he's like smacking him in the face with like the extra C4 the whole time. He's like, I wish you had more time. Yeah.
Dude, he is punking that guy.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, so there's some communication with the journalist lady. He's got like some bank records and stuff like that. And the rest of the cogs start to fall into place. We find out exactly what went on.
Yes, it turns out that Mark Anthony arranged with Jordan Calphus and The Voice to have his own daughter kidnapped because he's a broke bitch. And they were going to use the insurance money, $10 million, to just get rich. Because if you're paying yourself for a ransom, what's the issue?
Correct, yeah. And this is the part of the movie where, to me, the plot kind of falls apart. Because, like, he went to Detroit. Like, the whole reason why this happened, because they were away, and Denzel was the only person there to protect the kid, to coin this deal, which was going to be huge for everybody. Super lucrative. And he goes ahead and does it anyways, you know? Like,
Yeah.
And then, like, fucking Denzel punks him as well and gets him to kill himself. I'm just like, this doesn't really solve anything.
Yeah. See, I didn't realize that it was the insurance. I just thought that, Daddy was going to take like the 5 million and just like that was going to be it. I didn't realize that it was like 10 million in insurance money.
Yeah, they had to have a bodyguard to be eligible for the insurance.
Oh, okay. So they got like the budget bodyguard.
Yep.
Since this guy's like old and an alcoholic.
But the little girl taught him to love again. And with the power of love, you can slaughter all of Mexico.
And that's the power of love.
And Denzel just like sketching on the back of a car with a skateboard.
Nice.
Oh, shit. Where he's going, he doesn't need wheels.
No, he does not. I brought up like the plot kind of fell apart with me a little bit because like this felt like the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because like we go through this whole time like thinking the kid's dead. Like she unfortunately bit the dust, and that's the whole reason Denzel's being fueled the way he is. I'm like, all right, this feels like a resolution. Sans Mickey Rourke maybe not getting his comeuppance, whatever.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the biggest drawbacks to me in this movie. Mickey Rourke, not like the big bad, but like the mastermind behind all of this like stupid shit. The reason all of this happened just gets to go free. He just like we just don't see him again.
He
No.
actually gets decapitated and he's floating headless in a pool.
Wait, what?
Oh, is that who that was?
Yep.
Because I had a moment because the editing was really weird. Like Denzel goes back to the house and there's like a headless body in the pool. I was like, wait a minute, something's not right. I didn't know who it was. I thought it was Mark Anthony for a moment.
Yeah, so did
Mark
I.
Anthony killed him for botching it.
Oh, okay. Well, hell, even if they didn't show it, I would have been totally cool with him going into hiding and popping up somewhere in the Midwest trying to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
Like if he would have fucked him over, that would have been even better.
That
Yeah.
seems like a crucial plot point that they just like skimmed over. Not a plot point, but like a resolution point that they just absolutely skimmed over to the point that I didn't know it happened.
Of all the things they could have reiterated to us over and over, it could have been like, oh, that was Mickey Rourke. Okay.
Yeah. But now they've traced the card and they have an address. And by they, I mean Denzel Washington. And he fucking snatches up the voice, his brother. And dude, this fucking guy gets fucked up. So he fucks him up in the car, drags him in the house, runs out all the little niños, takes the pregnant wife, sets her down, yells at her, takes him on the roof, says, hey, call your man. Is he on the phone? Yeah. Hey, your brother's got something he wants to say to you. Boom! And blows his fucking hand off. And it's so graphic.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And like, and having the feeling like the movie should have been over like maybe 10 minutes ago, I kind of got the feeling now that I was like, man, this is a lot. Like, this is rough. Like, what the fuck at this point, you know?
He's not done killing, goddammit. He's going to get them all. And the voice arranges that, hey, guess what? Plot twist. The girl's not dead. I'll trade you the girl for you and my brother. And he goes, say less, fam.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really understand what he meant by that. Like, you and my brother. And then like, oh, he's all right. That doesn't seem like a fair deal, but all right.
Yeah, it's just like, it's totally lopsided, but like, the end result is what Denzel wants. And I was totally cool with that. Like, okay, fine. 2-for-1 deal. What are you going to do?
Yeah. So Denzel calls up the mama and he goes, hey, let's go pick up your kid. And she's like, I.
No, she's just like, no, I don't want any of that. I'm done with this. Oh.
Yeah, and Denzel's like, listen, let's go get Nathan Jr.
Like, bitch, your daughter is alive. You know, that's what you want. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, he's like giving a wink to the camera. Maybe you should act like you care.
So what we failed to mention is during all this, Creasy has been shot to shit. He's in dire straits. And he's walking up the bridge for the trade of the child. They bring her out. There she is. They take the hood off of her. They take the blindfold off of her. And they send her running. And she's screaming his name. And Denzel and this girl are acting level 10 right now. And he's like biting his lip, trying not to cry. And he's like having to roll his eyes and blink away the tears and try to look strong for her. And she runs up to him and they have this fucking moment like nothing in the world has even happened. It's just them in that moment. And it's wonderful. I cried like a little bitch.
This is definitely one of the stronger parts of the movie. This whole bridge scene is pretty much flawless. Like, the reason why he made this deal, like, we don't really find out till he's on the bridge, but it's because Denzel's on his way out. His wounds are something he's going to succumb to, and he knows he's got, like, maybe an hour or hours left. So he's like, yeah, oh, totally. Because, like, once the kids returned, you know, happy moment, he just gets in the car, doesn't put up a fight. He's just, like, looking out the window, seeing this wonderful view of the Mexican wilderness, and he's just like, all right, time's up.
All the while just stroking that that little, what is that, St. Jude pendant that she gave her, that she gave him back toward the beginning. Yeah. Which, it's a callback that doesn't really amount to anything, in my opinion. Like, that's something that exists. It's not like a what's the word?
MacGuffin.
McGriddle.
It's maple on the outside, ham on the inside.
It's not really like, it's not really a MacGuffin. It's not really a plot point. It's just like something. It's something there. And I feel like there's a few too many of those things in here. It just like muddies up everything.
It's another thing, like, I don't know if like he was confident or thought the audience was stupid, but like I understand. I agree.
This could have been an amazing miniseries.
I think this could have been an amazing movie. Just like, calm down a little bit, bruh.
Just calm down. Just calm down.
Now, after all that happens and he dies on his little magical carpet ride, The cops just show up and murk the voice. So we get as happy as an ending as we can have here.
That's so slapped together
Yeah.
haphazardly. And the movie's just like, okay, he passed away on a good note. By the way, the other
guess.
bad guy's dead. Shot by a mustache.
Yeah, because like I didn't really quite understand exactly how well Denzel was working with the police, but there was some configuration there because they were like, tapping his calls, not tapping his calls, but tapping the calls that he was having with like the voice and those things, trying to trace them back to wherever he was, trying to figure out who he was or whatever. And I don't know why that was needed, aside from to get like that little bit of resolution that we really didn't need.
Yeah, it's so weird because like
Mhm.
we're still locked in that position where we thought the movie was going to be over back then, and like all this extra stuff it just like feels ancillary. Like it's totally
Mhm.
satisfying when they have that moment on the bridge, but it just feels so contrived how we got there.
The word that I was going to use is convoluted. There's a lot of convolution in places to where, like, I'm not going to say there's red herrings, but there are things that you think are going to be something that maybe are something, just not as big of a thing as you think. Like the bullet that he saves that ends up being like the bullet that Mark Anthony uses to kill himself. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I
There's
get
a whole lot.
it.
There's a whole lot of things that should have been bigger than they were, and a whole lot of things that shouldn't have existed.
Yeah, that's 15 minutes of the movie that could have just whatevered.
Yeah.
There's a scene too where that we didn't even touch on. It does not matter whatsoever, except for me to say that this scene doesn't need to be there. But the journalist has like the photo of the voice, and somebody attacks her and is like, "Hey, if you want to live,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
publish those photos." And she publishes them anyway, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
110% rip-off Ninja Turtle scene where April O'Neil is approached by the Foot Clan and they say, "Master has a message for you," and they slap her and tell her to shut it.
And then the turtles come out. We don't give up. Okay, as like a whole piece, this movie, man, there's a really good idea in here, but it's unfortunately smothered by just so much convoluted bullshit. There's just like layers of just like extra editing, extra everything that honestly doesn't matter. The plot of this movie is so simple. The acting by Denzel Washington and Dakota Fanning are fucking great. This movie was basically them too. Like, you didn't need all this extra padding to make this 2.5 hours. Like, we've been discussing this entire time, like how we can just kind of condense this whole thing and still get the point across. I just feel like I want to like this movie. I feel like this movie is right up my alley, but it's just so loud and incoherent sometimes that it just totally pushes me off course.
I'm going to agree with absolutely everything that you said. I actually do like this movie, though. I think it's pretty good. There are a lot of things, a whole lot of issues, a whole lot of things that need to be toned down, cut back. I think this movie could be great if it was put in the hands of a more competent directing team, editing team. It goes out on a lot of limbs that don't really need to be gone out on either. But all said, like, it takes chances. Sometimes they pay off. Most of the time they don't. But as a whole, the script is good. The acting is generally good. It's a good movie. Just like it needs to be a lot less.
I'm with you on that. For all of its editorial flaws, a ton of this could be cut out because you have such strong performances by the leads of Denzel and Dakota that they're actually weakened whenever they go and focus on these other characters. It takes away from the movie in a lot of stuff. And with the crazy cutaways of the wah, 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 of the industrial music, if they would have just reduced that by 40 to 60%, it would have been effective and we could have actually identified with it, because then you would go, oh, when he's having a breakdown, that's how he's feeling. It's just chaotic. But they don't really ever give you that ability to put two and two together. You just kind of gotta hope that's what they're going for. Other than that, I fucking love this movie. I cry like a baby at the end of it every time. I think the soundtrack is phenomenal. Like, not how they use it in the movie, but the songs in general. They have that gladiator theme that they fucking shove down your throat over and over, and it works. Other than that, I like it.
Well, there you have it. That was Man on Fire. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave in that comment section right below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the little bell icon too, so you don't miss what we got brewing up next.
Get out there and follow us on all of our different social medias. We got that Instagram, that Facebook, a Twitters, a Reddit, goddamn YouTubes. We got the Anchor app, and that's helped us reach all sorts of people through different things like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, just a couple examples. There's no reason you're not checking us out. Give us a listen, or we'll get La Voice to come snatch up your dog.
Give us a listen, or we'll force you to watch The Voice with Christina Aguilera.
Oh no! Why don't we just put a bomb in their asshole?
Yeah.